Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Whether it is our spiritual life or material life, we always look for somebody whom we can idealize, somebody whom we can follow. And most of the time, knowingly or unknowingly, we do follow certain personalities, certain great people, experienced people, knowledgeable people. In many cases, or rather most of the cases, whether parents know or not, but up to a certain age, children idealize the parents. Idealize means they just follow, not that they consciously make them ideal of their life, but they follow. Because our senses, which are extrovert, how we behave in the initial stage is what we see around us. That how the nurture comes into picture. There is a big part of us which is nature. But most of the cases, people have behaved accordingly the atmosphere which they grow in. That's why we always say that you create an atmosphere at home, you create atmosphere in the mission. For example, when you come to mission with activities and all that, if you see suddenly something which is according to you is much away from the ideal, you say, no, this never happened in the mission. Why they do like this? Because every individual, every family, every organization has certain practices, certain idealistic attitude, and that is called culture. And this culture will eventually help the individuals to achieve the goal which the society thinks that it is to be achieved by everybody. Many things we follow, nobody told us to follow, but the society follows. Good or bad is another thing, but society do follow. So this concept is discussed here. Krishna is the ideal. Krishna is neutral in Mahabharata war. Though he is charioteer in the side of Pandavas, but he is not one of the fighters, one of the soldiers from Pandavas. He is neutral. So he told to Arjuna that detachment is the watchword. Tasmat asakta satatam. Continuously, you have to be detached. Let us understand from spiritual perspective. When you sit for meditation, sit for japa, what disturbs us? Where our mind goes automatically. Where we are attached, there only the mind will go. Attachment could be opposite, which is hatred, negative attachment. That also falls in the same. So where we are attached, our mind will go. That which with you are neutral, mind doesn't go there because mind doesn't get any pleasure or anything from that. So how to get detached is a philosophy. But without detachment, our mind will be continuously distracted. Just observe one day, sit and do japa, say for 15 minutes. And after that, just remember where your mind went other than thinking about your Ishta Devata. You will find two places mind will go. One which you are attached to and one which you are habituated to. People say, my mind is not concentrated. So we say, you should be clear where you want to concentrate your mind, one thing. And when you say that your mind is not concentrated, you must be able to study, observe. If it is not concentrated, where else it goes? Some aspects or some factors are remembrance. For example, you met somebody today who was very important to you. You do not have special attachment to that person, or you don't have a hatred for that person. Just by virtue of meeting that person, the remembrance is there. So you remembered it. And you will find that doesn't make you that much disturbed. But there are some where you are instinctively attached to, and those things are disturbance to you, which you are attached to. A devotee comes to Holy Mother and asks, Mother, I cannot concentrate my mind. I think about my work, family, office. Mother said, that is but natural. Anything you do leaves an impression in form of memory in your mind. And those things only will come to you. If I am attached to something, will not come to your mind. If you are attached, it will come to your mind. So if you can analyze your mind, that in these 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour you set for meditation, japa, etc., where my mind goes. If you come to a conclusion that these are the few things where my mind naturally goes that side. So in your non-meditation hours, you keep a distance from those things which you are attached to. I told sublimation is segregation. You have to be away from that. If you are attached to something, you continuously deal with that person or a concept or article, thing, whatever. And that memory will become more and more stronger because of your activity with that person, activity with that concept, activity with those things. That will leave impression. And when the same object is there, whether person, place, concept, thing, whatever, think of you and that object thousands and thousands of times, there is a connection established. So that becomes like a rope. That attachment becomes like a practically difficult to cut the attachment. Sri Krishna beautifully told one word. These are some master strokes which we can remember. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Asanga, detachment. When this attachment is grown so thick that we cannot get rid of it, how to get rid of it? there is a very sharp weapon called detachment. By that only the string or a rope which is attached to that is to cut. But the detachment, how you? There is no instrument that you cut. But you start practicing detachment. External detachment is you start reducing or eventually you cut off your contact with that thing which you are attached to. And second and important thing, from within, you intellectually get convinced by the help of scriptures, by the help of elders, by the help of people whom you think are more spiritually grown or awakened, that internal attitude or internal understanding, intellectually at least, the futility of keeping a relation with that. What is the futility? Why I am holding on to that? Holding on in terms of as a disturbance to your meditation. You have to understand that it is mithya. Mithya is, it is for time being. It is not eternal. I love someone. That person's time comes, then he or she passes away. Do you think that person will wait one more second just because you are attached to the person? No. That's why Holy Mother says, the more you get attached to people, you are bound to suffer, because separation is inevitable, either socially or in form of death. One of us will go first. If I am attached to somebody, either he or she will go first or I will go first. This segregation is must, inevitable. So love should be only with God. God could be with person, without person, whichever way you want to believe in God. Detachment is necessary. If you are not detached, see, attached mind is like a rowing the boat with putting an anchor at the bank of the river. Sri Ramakrishna says, put an anchor, whole night that fellow is rowing the boat. Didn't go even 1 inch away from where he was. Attachment is this anchor. Very interesting one concept last few months which is moving in my mind, and I am trying to culture it. Two thoughts are there. One we have already discussed about space and time. The second thought is this, that to cut that attachment is a very difficult process. More attached you are, more painful it is. That's why to be less and less attached, having less and less strong liking and dislike. I hate that person, I can't look at him. Don't be so strong hatred for anyone. It's okay. It's okay. I don't talk to that person. It's okay. But if he or she is around, I become so disturbed. That's not correct. That's not correct. So be aloof, be detached, reducing the aversion, reducing the hatred if you have. And people do not want to think from this practical point of view and suffer, believe me. I can't give you the example by name. Not years, but decades after decades of contact with mission. I said, I didn't see you for a very long time. No, she comes. I can't tolerate her presence in the temple. Sri Ramakrishna's presence is nothing to you. Her presence becomes so important that you cannot even sit in the temple. And still I have to say that you are 40, 45 years in contact with the mission. Why cannot understand this one? I may not like him. Could be. But he also is devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. I may not like, that is my problem. I have to reduce my problem. I have no right to correct others. Same thing goes with attachment. So the strong attachment and strong hatred, detachment is best. But if you have to lean little here and there, not 100% correct, but if you have to lean between attachment and hatred, maybe attachment is little better than hatred. Attachment is not perfect, detachment is perfect. But if I have to select between hatred and attachment, little attachment is better than little hatred. There was a Muslim saint, a lady called Rabia, great saint. She was asked, do you love God? Do you love Allah? She said, with all my heart. Do you hate Satan? Do you hate what Christians will call Antichrist? Do you hate Shaitan, Satan? Her answer was, if a part of my heart is there to hate someone, with that part also I will like to love God. There is no place of God. There is no place of hatred in our life. I may have love for God little, but I must not have hatred for anything. Dislike, I don't talk, I want to be aloof. I get easily disturbed by that person, that's why I don't keep contact, that's fine. How many people, otherwise 8 billion people in the world, with how many people you are contacting? There 40, 50, 100, 200? Not even decimal it comes. So hatred should not be there. There are many other ways to reduce the hatred. Is to forgive, is to forget. You say, no, I cannot forgive. It is pray for them. The prayer for them will reduce hatred. Even that can reduce the attachment also. So, tasmat asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Krishna says, that's why constantly be detached and keep on doing your karma. Why? Asakto hi acharan karma paramapnoti purusha. Because those who perform actions with detachment, that is the only way to realize the Supreme. If you are attached, you cannot move. That thing will not allow you to move. That person will not allow you to move. So you have to give up attachment, then only you can go forward. To go forward, the two anchors of attachment and hatred has to be lifted from the ground. The more attachment and more hatred we have, we cannot progress. Many good people, many spiritual people keep on doing spiritual practices, but these anchors are not lifted. Strong attachment, strong hatred will occupy your mind. I'm not good in computer, etc. But many times I don't understand. There is one picture I downloaded or I saved. Then I saw the properties, say it is 2 MB. Same size, another picture with same clarity practically, which I don't visually differentiate or cannot differentiate. It says 3 MB or 4 MB, sometimes 10 MB. Everything looks the same. Those who know may tell me technical difference, that's fine. What I am telling is, the more stronger your attachment and hatred is, that many bytes it will occupy in your hard disk. And we have attachment and hatred for so many things. How much our mind is occupied with that? That's why they say, only we try, not that we are perfect or we have achieved everything, but consciously practicing that. The mind naturally thinks something, but you as an observer should immediately catch the mind. Excuse me, why you are thinking about that? You think about God. That mind, when you are doing nothing, continuously speaks, thinks, sings. To replacing that with your mantra is what is ideal spiritual practice. Initially, somebody got initiated, so he said, after some time feel very mechanical. You see, it will feel mechanical. When you understand the utility of that mantra, that it is able to replace so many other ideas helpful or harmful to you. Think of say, as many seconds you have in your waking hours. Say 16 hours, 8 hours you sleep. So 16 hours you are awake. So 16 into 60 into 60. That many seconds. Think that many thoughts. And put them into ... One series, one line. Make that line of that LED small bulbs. When do you do japa? Switch on that LED. Remaining all switched off LEDs. Imagining that, we try that all our waking hours, waking minutes, waking seconds can be full of thoughts of God. What is the difference between us and great people like Sri Ramakrishna? Is only in degree, not in kind. They are not different kind of people. All the great people, whomsoever you consider great, are not different kind of people, are the same human being like us. The degree is different. The degree, their love for God, their detachment with the world. And when emotion is joined with your thoughts of God, that's why you will find, I don't know how to express whether you have come across certain people or not. Modern time also there are people, should be there, I do not know. When we were young, you may have heard the name of some great, one or two people are still alive. They do the Harikatha, or Ramayana Ganam, or stories of Bhagavatam and all that. There was a great householder gentleman called Ramchandra Dongre. If you have heard about it, go to YouTube, you may get some, because he was not ready to be filmed that much. He used to say only Bhagavatam, stories of Krishna. I was very young. I have attended one of his discourses where hundreds of people are sitting, and he used to close his eyes and speak the Leela, the life of Krishna. Fortunately, I may be in my primary school, could be. He is just describing with so much devotion the incident where Krishna is living for Mathura. Krishna is living Vrindavan for good at the age of 11 or 12. And he is describing every minute detail of that incident. Tears are rolling from his eyes, closed eyes. I was a young boy. So I looked around me. Each and every person sitting and hearing also was a teary eyes. When emotion is connected with your spiritual practice, that devotion becomes more intensified. But all this can be done I am telling what comes exactly correct incidents which come in my mind. It must be in 1980s, like Kumbh Mela, that kind of occasion was there. We are selling our books, and at that time no CDs, all audio cassettes used to be there, bhajans and all that. I remember I don't remember his face, one gentleman came, a villager, and said, I want to buy one bhajan cassette. So I said, all are bhajans only, whichever you want to like, you take. No, you select for me. I said, which you like, how can I select? Then he gave the criteria, and I said, that too I cannot. He said, give me a cassette with bhajans. If I hear, I must be able to cry out of devotion. I said, sorry, I do not know. These are few which I like very much. Maybe you also can like it, I don't know. People want to attach emotion with your thoughts of God, which is called devotion. So devotion is thoughts of God multiplied by your emotion. Then only the intensified mind will be able to cut off the attachment and go forward. You need support, either intellectual support. You be a student of Vedanta, read particular, no emotion at all, and go forward with a open sword of your intellect and cut everything in between and go forward. And there is emotion, there is a devotion. So much devoted to God that all other attachment and hatred become secondary. It doesn't have any importance to it. What does it matter? Okay, I have this in my life. So, Sri Krishna says, if you are asakta, you are asakta. Sanskrit language is beautiful, you have to understand and don't mistake. If you do not read in vernacular, if you see in English, asakta and asakta, same spelling. If you write A-S-A-K-T-A, it is asakta, not asakta. Asakta is attached, asakta is detached. So, asakto hi acharan karma parama apnoti purusha. Person reaches that highest goal just by becoming detached. Then he gives an example. Karmanev hi samsiddhim astita janakadaya. Janaka, the great king of Mithila, father of Mother Sita, he was considered as karma yogi. Why? Janaka is a jnani, but he was a king. To be a king and rule a kingdom is not an easy job. And to run a small institution itself, we think we are doing a great job. And they have to run a kingdom. And all responsibility used to be, final responsibility goes to the king. But he was very much detached. So Krishna says, Karmanevi samsiddhim astita janakadaya. Janak, etc. They were so much detached that they could be an ideal. Loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Loka sangraha is a word not that much applicable to us, because we are not those leaders who will lead the society towards spirituality. We are followers, we are not leaders. So Loka sangraha is that duty of incarnations and prophets, those who guide, those who lead the multitude of people towards God. Wherever they are born, there is something in them which is realization. External qualifications may not be enough. may not be there also. But there is so much weight of spiritual realization in them that whatever they speak becomes a scripture. Whatever they do becomes a direction for people to follow. So that is called Loka Sangraha, teaching the people, leading the people by example. Why? Yadyad acharati sreshta tattadeva itaro janaha. Sreshta, the best people, leaders, as they live, people just follow them. Sayad pramanam kurute, lokas tadanu vartate. They establish a practice, they establish a tradition, and people just follow it. We see many times, nowadays people say, oh, those songs of 60s and 70s are so, till people remember it. I say, you know, in India, we have a particular dance step. Last 500 years we remember that. There is Sri Chaitanya's dance. Same step, dance step also we remember last 500 years. They did, people just follow. Many practices which we do, Sri Ramakrishna used to do, or before Sri Ramakrishna others used to do. And that became such a practice that we follow. And that seems to be helpful. That's why we follow. So those who are leaders, for them it is. Then Sri Krishna gives his own example. Very beautiful sloka. Another side of this I will tell. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Oh Arjuna, I don't have any duty to perform in this world. I am completely free. I don't care whether Pandavas win or Kauravas win. I am with Dharma. And I am telling you, for the sake of Dharma, you have to fight. If you do not want to fight, end of Bhagavad Gita. If you don't want to fight, it's your decision. I am telling you this you have to do. I can't force you. Vimurishyata daseshena yachachasi tasakuru. Last chapter. Whatever I told, what I had to say, I had told. Now you think 1,000 times. Asheshana, not even 1,000, infinite time you think. Do whatever you like. This is the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Scriptures can tell us. Sri Ramakrishna's teachings can tell us. Great people's teaching can tell us. But this is not injunction. This is suggestion. This is what you should do. Not that you must do. Especially in Hindu religion, Sanatana Dharma, we don't have, for Karma Kanda we may have injunction, use always right hand, not left hand, all these things could be there. But our religious life has a lot of freedom. Our society is bound. Our society is bound how? Now slowly people are out of ignorance, not out of knowledge maybe. Earlier used to be there, marrying the same caste and cannot marry. All these things, society was very much bound. That's another part. But religion-wise, spiritual-wise, absolute freedom. Show me one Muslim family where one of the siblings in the family, he is not a Muslim but stays there with them. No, it doesn't happen. The whole family is Muslim. Whole family is Christian. In Hindu families you go, no, my brother doesn't believe in God. And mother goes and strike the head every day at the feet of God. We have so many big families, well-known families. Even you people also should be knowing around you. Wife is very devoted, husband is atheist. That doesn't make them to take divorce, no. Some example was there, I don't remember the names. big man in politics or business or whatever, but atheist. And wife, few times a day, most of the time, she is in the temple doing puja. He doesn't hate her because she doesn't follow what he follows. Okay, you believe in God, you believe in God, I don't believe. He will not take arati also, he will not take prasad also, everything is fine. That doesn't make the relation bitter. This is something very special. In families you will find, oh, so and so goes to Ramakrishna Mission, somebody likes other organization, somebody likes other organization, which is okay. Somebody doesn't believe in God. So, this freedom is something very interesting, and that also is part of even atheists, non-believers, also part of Hinduism. If you want to take everybody in your fold, we are part of interreligious organization. Then we talk. When we say interreligious organization, there are 10 major religions which we are practicing in Singapore. What about those who do not belong to any of this religion? We must take them also a part of our family. Okay, you don't believe in religion, you respect other religion, you will not need to follow it. So the atheists, agnostics, materialistic, they don't believe. So, Sri Krishna says, I don't have any work to do, I have no duty. Nana vaptam avaptam yam. There is nothing which I have not achieved and I have to achieve, which is supposed to be achieved and I have not achieved. There is nothing like that. I have nothing to achieve in this world. I have no duty in this world. But if I don't do anything, people will follow me because I am the king. Yadi ayam navarteyam jatu tishtati akarmakrit. If I become inactive, people will follow me. Mama vartmanu vartante. Manushya partha sarvasha. People will go, Krishna did like this, I also don't know. Active life. Look at Sri Ramakrishna. He didn't work as we work in hospitals and dispensaries and schools and college, no. But continuous action. Morning to evening, people are coming to hear about spirituality. In deathbed, no physical capacity to even turn side in the bed. And he said, if I could be helpful to one person, I am ready to come 100 times. That is the ideal of Karma Yoga. Whatever you have, you serve others. Serving others means what? At least some comfort, some happiness, some relief. Because if all the issues are resolved in the life, then only the question of higher thinking will come. Why we serve people? So that they can think higher. If stomach is full, then only you can think higher. If the stomach is not full, you have to think about how to fill up the stomach. That's why people work. Yesterday I was talking to someone. You know, we plan everything. Suppose you are going to India or somewhere where you will stay, first day what you will do, second day what you plan everything. What we don't plan is our own life. What you want to do after 5 years, no, never plan. Secondly, what is the meaning of that? Yesterday I was talking to one young couple, a small child. So I said, what is the purpose? Tell me. Till you are alive, you want to do work and earn money. Okay, you earn money for something. No, money cannot be goal in itself. Money is to be used for something. For yourself, others is a different thing. Money in itself is not a goal. It is to be used somewhere. If you don't use it in a good way, you will spend it in a bad way. So earn enough Until you are physically and mentally sound, healthy, put everything, all your energy and time in something positive, in serving others or some social service or spiritual life or assisting in the activities of the organization like us or whichever. What's the use of? I remember one gentleman, no Maharaj, we have to be active, we have to work. What's your age? 84. When you will stop working, and now at this place we feel, when we will be completely free. Sri Ramakrishna says, a time should come, one hand holding feet of God, another worldly activities, because you have to earn, you have to look after your children, etc. A time should come when with both the hands you can hold the feet of God. When that will come, nobody can say. So I was talking to that young couple, both are working people. I said, I have no right to guide you or say you anything. But see, by 45, 50, whatever you earn, save some money, go back. Reserve that much money that by interest of which you should be able to live a decent life, so that you don't need to beg from anyone. But this is ridiculous. Whole life you keep on working and earning money for what? At the age of 84, neither the body is with you nor mind is with you. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to, young students like Swamiji and others, waking up in the morning, when you will meditate, time is running. Every day which is going will not come back. When we started the class, do you think that 605 will come back today? No, that has gone. Time and tide waits for none. This time is not going to come back. Time utilized is utilized. And faster we understand this, the time spent in remembrance of God is the only time spent. Remaining all is waste of time. That you understand today or tomorrow, after 15, 20 years, whenever. Because when we as a spiritual seeker will make our life fully dedicated to spiritual life. There are devotees, completely withdrawn. They don't need to go Himalayas or something. Don't you stay where you are. But spend your life, spend your days continuously remember us of God. All formalities drop. Who cares whether you did formalities or not? Nobody is there. You don't need certificate of anyone. So this socialization, these social obligations, this and that, cut, renounce. Otherwise you cannot. When time will come, you have to fulfill everybody. No, you don't need to. You know, when you go to some temples in India, there will be so many deities. And people keep on giving little, some flowers to all the deities. So we say you want to do, for some time you do. Later on, while entering, do pranams to everybody, and only one deity is there whom I am going to worship. Because eventually that main deity is representing all the deities which are there. Nobody is going to be angry. I remember when I left my home to join the mission, I was about 20 years old. So I went to one particular temple and stayed overnight there. So one priest was there, he caught out of me, "Hey, put 1 rupee here, otherwise this God will be angry on you." And I wanted to join the mission, so mind was full of enthusiasm. So I said, "Brother, why you are worried? Leave it between me and the God, we will understand. You don't worry about it." So something like that. Concentrated spiritual life, where it will come? It has to come as early in our life. So we will take up later.